Are you struggling to implement access control lists with Spring Security and MongoDB? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into how to tackle this challenge and make your application secure. I completely understand how frustrating it can be when you want to secure your application but feel stuck due to a lack of resources. Many developers face this issue, especially when transitioning from SQL to NoSQL databases. Here's the specific question we're addressing. One user asked, "How can I implement access control lists on top of Spring Data MongoDB?" They pointed out that the default Spring Security ACL relies on SQL databases, which makes it challenging to adapt to MongoDB. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what makes this transition tricky? The default ACL implementation uses additional tables in SQL databases to manage permissions, which doesn't directly translate to the document-based structure of MongoDB. Let's break this down. And stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to implement ACLs in MongoDB, plus a valuable resource to help you out. To implement access control lists with Spring Data MongoDB, the user should first create a custom ACL model. This model will represent the permissions and the associated resources in MongoDB. Next, the user needs to define a repository interface for the ACL model. This will allow for easy CRUD operations on the ACL documents stored in MongoDB. After setting up the repository, the user should implement the ACL service. This service will handle the logic for checking permissions based on the current user's roles and the ACL entries in the database. Finally, the user should integrate the ACL service into their application. This involves calling the service methods at appropriate points in the application to enforce access control. Fun fact: did you know that MongoDB was designed to handle large volumes of data and can scale horizontally? This makes it a great choice for modern applications, but it does come with its own set of challenges. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution comes from another user who suggests checking out a specific repository for implementing ACL with MongoDB. This repository is compatible with Spring 4 and is being updated for Spring 5. Here's a tip. Check out the GitHub repository for Spring Security ACL with MongoDB. It can provide you with a solid foundation and examples to kickstart your implementation. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be well on your way to implementing access control lists in your Spring Data MongoDB application. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.